Hello, everyone. My name is Seth, and today I'm going to break down the Oscar nominations. It is one of the most exciting times for all of us film fans. It's award season. It's almost Oscar times. I was waiting for the Oscar nominations to drop, and I thought it would be so much fun just to go through, break down some of what got nominated, maybe some of what didn't, kind of give my thoughts on who I think would win and maybe who I would vote for. But before I go any farther, go ahead and like this video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. First things first, Oppenheimer leads the field with nominations. It has 13. Poor Things is second with 11. And Killers of the Flower Moon is third with 10. On the screen right now, you're seeing a graphic from Variety talking about the films that were nominated, kind of a graph there. I think that's really interesting. In terms of total nominations for company, the Walt Disney Company leads the field with 20. So I haven't seen everything, but I'm going to try to give my best guess and just kind of give my opinion from what I know. The nominees are American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, and Poor Things. If I am remembering correctly, this is the first time since the field for Best Picture nominees was expanded to 10 that we actually had 10 films. Like I said in my top 10 movies of 2023, go back and watch that video if you haven't. 2023 was a really good year for film, and I think this list of nominees just goes to show that this was a really good year. So for out of these Best Picture nominations, I think that Oppenheimer will probably win Best Picture, but if I was voting on this list, I would vote for The Holdovers. The Holdovers is just such a special film, and to me, it is the best film on this list. However, I will say, I really, really wish Godzilla Minus One got a Best Picture nomination. I think it absolutely deserves it, but I wasn't expecting it to because that's the kind of movie that the Oscars doesn't necessarily like. They don't really like the comic book genre. They don't really like the horror genre and like the kind of big monster movies, like that kind of group. They're not necessarily the biggest fan of those. So I wasn't necessarily expecting Godzilla Minus One to get a Best Picture nomination, but if I had a vote for nominations, I absolutely would have Godzilla Minus One be one of my votes. The nominees for Best Director are Justine Triet for Anatomy of a Fall, Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon, Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things, and Jonathan Glazer for The Zone of Interest. I apologize in advance if I mispronounced any of these names of any of the directors or actors or any of the films. Trust me, I'm trying my best. For me, I have to say, I think my vote would go for Christopher Nolan. What he did with Oppenheimer was just so well done. It was just like masterfully done. Just the suspense and the performances he got out of everything and just the whole package of Oppenheimer would probably lead for my vote to go to him. However, I wouldn't be surprised if Scorsese won because the technical stuff for all of Killers of the Flower Moon was really, really well done. But if I had to go ahead and stake my guess, I think Christopher Nolan will win this, but I could easily see Martin Scorsese or even Yorgos Lanthimos winning it for Poor Things. The nominees for actor in a leading role are Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Colman Domingo for Rustin, Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. My prediction for this is that Cillian Murphy will win an Oscar. He's such an incredibly talented actor, and he did such a great job in Oppenheimer. And so I will be 100% happy if he wins Best Actor. However, maybe if I had my vote, I would go for Paul Giamatti. I would not be upset if he won this at all. The nominees for actress in a leading role are Annette Bening for Nyad, Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of a Fall, Carey Mulligan for Maestro, and Emma Stone for Poor Things. I think this is kind of a two-person race between Lily Gladstone and Emma Stone. They've kind of gone back and forth a little bit with some of the other awards this kind of award season. My vote would go to Lily Gladstone. She was incredible in Killers of the Flower Moon. I think she was probably the best performance in Killers of the Flower Moon. And that's saying a lot because there were some really, really good performances by Leonardo DiCaprio and by Robert De Niro. And looking back real quick, I'm a little bit surprised that Leonardo DiCaprio didn't get a nomination. But my vote would go to Lily Gladstone, and I think she'll win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Emma Stone does actually end up winning. I will say I'm a little bit surprised that Margot Robbie did not get nominated for Best Actress. I think she probably should have at least got a nomination here. She was very good in Barbie. The nominees for actor in a supporting role are Sterling K. Brown for American Fiction, Robert De Niro for Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling for Barbie, and Mark Ruffalo for Poor Things. I'm really happy that Ryan Gosling got nominated for Best Supporting Actor. To me, he was one of the best parts of the Barbie movie. I absolutely loved his character in that. And like I mentioned before, Robert De Niro played a really tough role, and he did a really good job in Killers of the Flower Moon. However, I just think that this is Robert Downey Jr.'s year. He would get my vote, and I think he will end up winning the Best Supporting Actor. This is one of his best performances, and it was just so entertaining to see. He brought such an incredible intensity to this role. So I think this is going to go to Robert Downey Jr. The nominees for actress in a supporting role are Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks for The Color Purple, America Ferrera in Barbie, Jodie Foster in Nyad, and Divine Joy Randolph in The Holdovers. I'm not going to beat around the bush at all. I think Divine Joy Randolph has this. She gave such a powerful and incredible performance. She might have given the best performance out of anybody this year. I think she's going to win this, and she would absolutely get my vote. The nominees for Best Adapted Screenplay are American Fiction, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. There's a little bit of controversy with Barbie being in the adapted screenplay, and I can kind of see both sides. Yeah, the story wasn't necessarily based on a book or a TV show or anything like that, but also it was based on established character, kind of, with the kind of brand of Barbie. And then there's also the Barbie movies, like the animated ones, like straight to DVD, straight to streaming, whatever. So I can kind of see both sides of it. For me, my vote will go towards Oppenheimer. I think that was a very strong script, but I am kind of leaning toward the actual win going to Poor Things. The nominees for original screenplay are Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Maestro, May December, and Past Lives. Past Lives is one I wanted to get to. I wanted to watch that before I did my top 10 of the year, and I just ran out of time. From everything I've heard, I honestly think that Past Lives is going to win this one. However, I think my vote would definitely be for The Holdovers. I love The Holdovers. It was my second favorite movie of the year. If you ask me on a different day, it might be my first favorite movie of the year. I thought the script was very good, so my vote would go toward The Holdovers. I kind of have a feeling that Past Lives will win. The nominees for cinematography are El Conde, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. This is another where I think my vote and I think the actual win will kind of coincide. I think that Oppenheimer will win for cinematography. The cinematography was really, really good. The cinematography in Oppenheimer is special. It really helped with the scale. Every shot made you feel something. So that's why I would vote for Oppenheimer, but I also think Oppenheimer will win. Best Original Song, The Fire Inside from Flamin' Hot, I'm Just Ken from Barbie, It Never Went Away from American Symphony, Wazazi, A Song for My People from Killers of the Flower Moon, and What Was I Made For from Barbie. Based off of some of the other awards, I think What Was I Made For will win the Oscar. However, if I had my vote, I'm voting for I'm Just Ken. That is just such a fun song. I've had that stuck in my head every so often after seeing Barbie. So that's what I would vote for. But I think What Was I Made For will probably win. The nominees for costume design are Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. The costume design for all of these are very, very good. And this is kind of a tough category, but you look at Oppenheimer and Killers of the Flower Moon and Napoleon, and they all capture that time frame so perfectly. I think the costumes for Poor Things was really well done from what I've seen, but I got to give my vote for Barbie, and I think Barbie will end up winning this one. The nominees for sound are The Creator, Maestro, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, Oppenheimer, and The Zone of Interest. I think this is another one where the actual winner and my vote will coincide. I think Oppenheimer is going to win this one, and that would be what my vote would go towards. I remember sitting in the theater in IMAX with a packed house, just waiting to experience this, and the sound design in this is next level. Like, I could feel the sound in IMAX. That's just a one-of-a-kind experience. And so that's why it would get my vote, and that's why I think it'll win. The nominees for original score are American Fiction, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. From what I've heard, I'm a little bit surprised that The Boy and the Heron did not get nominated. One of my friends sent me over a couple of tracks, and I listened to it, and I got chills. Even without having seen the movie, what I heard made me feel stuff, and it's just music, not even seeing the visuals that pair with it. So I kind of wish that The Boy and the Heron got a nomination here for Best Score. I think Oppenheimer will win this one. Ludwig Göransson did a really, really good score, but my vote would go toward Indiana Jones. John Williams is my all-time favorite composer. His style is just exactly what I love to hear in a film. He has so many legendary scores, and Indiana Jones is one of them. And I think the score for The Dial of Destiny is very, very good. So that would be my vote, but I think Oppenheimer is going to take this one. Nominees for International Feature Film are Lo Capitano from Italy, Perfect Days from Japan, Society of the Snow from Spain, The Teacher's Lounge from Germany, and The Zone of Interest from the United Kingdom. I have not seen any of these, but I will say I think it is an absolute shame that Godzilla Minus One did not get at least nominated here. For me, I would give Godzilla Minus One my Best Picture vote, let alone the Best International Feature Film. So I don't really have a prediction here. All I can say is I wish Godzilla Minus One was on this list. The nominees for Animated Feature Film are The Boy and the Heron, Elemental, Nimona, Robot Dreams, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I've only seen Elemental and Spider-Man here, and both are very good films. Across the Spider-Verse is just so incredibly special. It really is an achievement in animation, and so that's where my vote will go, and I kind of think that that's who will actually win the award. The nominees for makeup and hairstyling are Golda, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and Society of the Snow. From what I've seen with the makeup and the hairstyling, I think Poor Things is going to win, and that would probably be my vote. The nominees for production design are Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I think Barbie is going to win this, and Barbie would get my vote. The set design, everything there was so cool and unique. I mean, the sets literally caused a pink paint shortage in the world, so that's definitely getting my vote. The nominees for film editing are Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I got to give The Holdovers this one. I have a feeling that Oppenheimer will win. The editing there is really, really good. I like the way Nolan cuts back and forth between different times and different settings. He does a good job of kind of meshing all of those together incredibly well. He always does a good job with that. But I think the editing for The Holdovers is just about perfect. And even with the jokes they had, they even let the editing help tell some of the jokes. So that would be my vote. But I do think Oppenheimer will win this one. And the nominees for visual effects are The Creator, Godzilla Minus One, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, and Napoleon. The visual effects for all of these are really good. I'm not going to be mad at whoever wins. I got to give special props to Godzilla Minus One. They are here. They have some amazing effects, and the budget was so much smaller than all of these other films. But if I had my vote, I think I would vote for Guardians of the Galaxy just the work that they did with Rocket and some of the other animal friends that he had, it's just so good. Like, you never would have thought that that's not a real talking raccoon. So Guardians of the Galaxy gets my vote, and I kind of think they'll end up winning it. Now, these last few categories, I have not seen any of these. I don't have an opinion. I don't really have a guess as to who's going to win these. So I just want to run down these nominations for you so you know all of the nominations. The nominees for live action short film are The After, Invincible, Night of Fortune, Red, White, and Blue, The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. The nominees for animated short film are Letter to a Pig, 95 Senses, Our Uniform, Pachyderm, and War's Over, inspired by the music of John and Yoko. The nominees for documentary feature film: Bobby Wine, The People's President, The Eternal Memory, Four Daughters, To Kill a Tiger, 20 Days, and Maripol. The nominees for documentary short film are The ABCs of Book Banning, The Barber of Little Rock, Island in Between, The Last Repair Shop, and Nai Nai and Wai Po. Before I close this video out, I do want to say I really wish that the Oscars would add a category for stunts. I think they absolutely deserve it. But that's it. That is my breakdown of the Oscar nominations. I gave you my thoughts on who I thought would win. I gave you my votes, and I gave you all of the nominees. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. Was there somebody or a movie that did not get nominated that you really wanted to, like me with Godzilla Minus One? Do you think they got it all right? Let me know some of your predictions down in the comment section below. I would love to have a conversation with you about it. Don't forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You can follow me on social media pretty much anywhere, @CinemaSeth, and I'll see you next time.